Hey guys, Brandon Bassett with Bassett TV, and today I'm going to talk to you guys about mounting your 360 on your boat. I've had this camera for a year now, and I've used it quite a bit, and I've stationed it in different parts of my boat to figure out what I like and how I want to use it. Well, I'm going to give you guys some pointers and some tips on how I use it, what to use it, what to look for when you're using it, and also where to mount it. Where do you mount a 360 on your boat? Multiple options. You could do it in the front, you can do it in the back, or you can do it in the center. Some people do it on the side of their console. Depends on your boat. Some people have a center console, so you can put on a center console. Some people have the console that's to the right or to the left of their boat, and some people put it right there in the front right in the front where the windshield is. There's multiple areas to put a 360 in your boat. I prefer the middle of the boat, mostly because you are working with a 360 camera, so you want that 360 view. I'm able to go ahead and catch a fish, and I can literally come from back here, walk to the front of the boat, and you should still be able to see me. With the editing software that's out there, you can go ahead with 360 and you can literally track your body and walk around this boat, and it'll follow you throughout this boat no matter where you go. Let's say you're walking forward, you're walking backwards, you're walking around the boat, you're catching a fish, your fish is dragging you from one side to the left side to the right side. 360 camera captures all of it. One good thing about a 360 camera being in the center of your boat. Let's say you have it in the front of your boat, you can't do all that. You can only get that one vision of straight in your boat, and then the other side of your lens is just going to be the water. So now you're mounted on the front of my boat. Like I said, you still get the 360 effect, but you only get it from the front of the boat back. Everything that's on that side of the camera will be recorded. Me personally, I don't understand why would you have it mounted on the front or the back of the boat. Mostly because this is a 360 video, so you want to get the whole surrounding. That side of the camera is nothing but water and land and everything that's on that side. And same thing, if you mount it here, it's going to be everything on that side you won't see, and everything you're going to see on this side. So I don't know. To me, it's weird to have it mounted on the front or the back of the boat. Like I said, I prefer the center of the boat right here, so that way you get the 360 effect of the 360. That's why it's the 360 camera. If you're going to do it in front of the boat or behind the boat, then you might as well just do a GoPro. It'll be the same for the scenario if it's in the back. Let's say your camera's in the back, you mount it in the back, so you're going to get that 360 effect, but you're only seeing one side of you, because the other side of the lens is seeing the back side of the boat. So that's one cool thing about a 360 is you put it in the center of the boat, and you can walk anywhere inside your boat, and you can have it track you in the software. So that way, if you're finding a fish, it tracks you, and it just follows you throughout this boat as you're catching a fish. One thing to think about would be if you have a center console on your boat, depending on your boat. Let's say you have an open fisherman, you have a center console, but you have a bimini top on top. So you got to think about, if I put my 360 in the center of that, what will be affecting my vision of that 360? So if you have bars in the middle of it with the canopy over top, you got to think, if you put a 360 in the center of that, you're going to be getting those bars inside your vision as you're tracking inside your boat. Luckily me, I have a very open boat with no bimini on top. On my center console, basically my 360 mounts to my selfie stick down into my 1/4-inch screw that's on there, and it screws down and it's in the center of my boat. A 1/4-inch bolt with the washer with two nuts locking each other in, so that way your nut just sticks, or your screw just sticks out. And this right here is basic, because at the bottom of your selfie sticks they all have a 1/4-inch screw where a 1/4-inch screw can go in. So I just put it on there and screw it down, and I'm good to go. And then I use the quick disconnect connections that they have for 360 with the boat, with the mount, and it plugs right into my console, so it stays charged. So I don't have to worry about it running out of battery. I don't have to worry about it falling off. If I want to do a quick disconnect from the center, I just do the quick disconnect and I plug it in the back. Or if I plug it in the front, it all depends on what I feel like doing that day. I have charging ports in the back, I have charging ports in the front, so depending on where it goes is where I'm going to charge it. Right now, as you can see, I have a GoPro back here, and this GoPro is charged in and it's recording 24/7. I don't do the looping scenarios. I just let it sit there and record, because you never know what you're going to catch on film or what you're going to catch around. So mine just records 24/7, and it gives me some different footage to work with when I go to edit my video. One thing you got to think about when mounting this is that the camera on the lens on this camera is good, but if you're trying to get a close-up picture from a farther distance, then it's really hard. For instance, if I was to stand here and take a picture of me holding a fish, it wouldn't be as good as me standing up here putting a fish in front of you to see, just because that distance that camera sees is just, it makes it, for some reason, the lens gets blurry. The more you zoom, the farther away and the more you zoom in on the editing software, the blurrier the quality gets. So you have to think about, when you mount this 360, you want to mount it close enough where if you catch a fish, you know where to go when you catch it. So that way you can take a picture, you can hold it up for your audience to see, for the camera to see, and that way you can go back and you can screenshot that photo, you can edit that video, and you'll know that that video will look good on that fish. This, like I said, this is based off of a year of experience fishing with the 360 and taking pictures and realizing what to do and what not to do. And one of them is to have your fish fairly close to the screen or to the camera, so that way you get a clear picture of the fish. One thing to also think about would be weather. Most cameras do good in cool weather, but when it starts to get a little bit warmer, the cameras start to heat up and they start to get hot. And when a camera gets hot, they like to shut down. One thing you need to think about is the mounting. You can have the clips that clip onto your rails. You can have a bendable pole. Let's say like you want it on the side of your console because you have bars in the way or something like that. You can do on top of the bimini and have it hanging down, either upright or downright, doesn't really matter. Another thing about is they make clamps that squeeze over handlebars or some kind of handle that you can put it on. There's a lot of mounts that you can do with the 360. You just got to figure out what would be best for your boat and what would work best for the scenario you're looking to get and what kind of footage you're looking to get. I did my research and I like 1/4-inch bolts with the screw, with the selfie stick screws into the screw, so that way I don't have to worry about it coming loose. I upgraded the selfie stick to a little bit of a longer, more sturdier selfie stick, so that way I don't have to worry about it being flimsy and wobbly. So you got to think about what you want to have mounting wise, and you have to go through your research and do your YouTube videos. This is why I'm making this YouTube video, is so that I can share the way I mount my 360 to my boat to get the best footage that I can get. So when I'm catching a fish, you guys see what fish I'm catching, and it records it perfectly the right way, and all I have to do is go back and edit it here and there, and then boom, I'm done. So another thing to think about is, how high do you want your 360 to be? Right now you're extended pretty high. You're above me. You're way up here. Normally I got it down here below where it's like eye level with me. So that's one thing to think about, is how high you want it to be and how you think that footage will look. Because if you're way up here, then when you're editing your video, you're going to zoom in a little bit to make it a little closer. When you just do zoom in, it's going to make it that quality a little bit more blurry. So think about your selfie stick. If you're putting on a selfie stick, think about another mount that you're using when it comes to mounting it. Also, when mounting the 360, so when I plug mine in, it plugs straight into the side of the 360. So it comes out of the 360 and then comes down. Bad thing is, when that cord sticks out of it, when I do that 360 look, that recording, that little piece of that wire basically is showing inside that footage. So there's ways around it. You can use they have a speaker adapter that you can plug into the side of your 360 and plug your plug into the bottom of it, which will hide it. If you're kayaking, it'd be the same scenario. You want it either in the center of your kayak or mounted on the side of the center. Either way works. That way you get that 360 effect. So I did a lot of kayaking down in Florida and canoeing, and I always had a GoPro. Never had the 360, always had a GoPro mounted in the rod holder in the back, overlooking my whole entire kayak or canoe. And that's what I used. It did good, except for when you had to reach behind and change out the batteries or do something with the camera, it got a pain. 360 you can put in front of you. You can see it the whole entire time, which is convenient. And then you can hook up your battery source or whatever you need to do in order to get you to record all day. So like I said, the 360 gets a 360 footage all the way around your boat, especially if you have it mounted in the center of your boat. It gives a perfect range of all of your boat view-wise. You catch a fish, let's say I'm running around the boat, catching a fish, catching a fish, catching a fish. I come to this side, boom, I'm in the front. You can still see me. It tracks me that way. And then I'm fishing, coming on this side of the boat, doing it, catching a fish, fighting a fish. And it's just, no matter where you go on this boat, if you're fighting a fish, you're going to get recorded with a 360. It's all based on your boat and how you want to mount it.